everybody has to know, and I'm sure that some of you are listening to this have heard me say this before, but it bears repeating, because what we are dealing with, Maureen, is absolutely the smartest virus ever. Smartest virus ever created. It can count the number of people in a room. It knows that if there's less than 4, you're safe. If it's more than 10, oh man, you're really in trouble. If you're in a nursing home, it can tell that there's more than 2 people at a time in the room. It can count. It can tell the difference between talking and singing. It can tell the difference between if you're standing up, you're dangerous and you better put on a mask. But if you're sitting, you're down here, everything's cool. You can take off the mask and the virus will leave you alone. It can measure distance. It knows how far apart 6 feet is. It comes out of your mouth and goes poof right down to the floor, 6 feet away. Just absolutely, like, come out, poof, right down. It can tell distance. It can tell height. It can tell time. It knows if it's after 10 o'clock. If it's before 10 o'clock at night, everything's cool. Go to a restaurant, do whatever. After 10 o'clock at night, it's going to come out and pounce on you because it can tell time. It can tell if you're eating, like on an airplane. If you're eating, you can pull the mask down. You're just fine. If you're not, you better pull it up because it's not safe. It can tell the type of building you're in. I mean, if you're in a Home Depot, it's cool, not a problem. If you're in church, it's not, it's going to pounce on you and get you. It can tell if you're talking or you're singing, because if you're in church and you're talking, it's okay. But if you're in church and you're singing, you're as good as dead. It can tell the difference between a wind instrument and a drum. If you're playing a drum, it's all cool. But if you're playing a wind instrument, you're probably going to die or kill somebody. It can tell the difference between being an anarchist group or a church group. It can tell, and now the most important thing that it can do, besides telling time, counting the number of people, telling distance, telling height, it's now learned how to read a calendar. It knows that effective this date, everything is safe moving forward. All the COVID stuff can go away. No mask, no distancing, no tracing, no anything on this date. But the day before, it's the last chance it's got to pounce on you and probably kill you.
Really?
And I hope that everybody gets how ridiculous it is. And sometimes when you add a little humor to the elements of what you're talking about, people see how absolutely ridiculous it is that we have to wear a mask, 7 masks, and we have to wear gloves and have a touchless thing. I mean, your new credit cards, I mean, everything is tap, so you don't touch. And they have, you go into a restaurant and you've got menus that nobody can touch or that they can wipe them off. Or they just crinkle them up and throw them away because you just might spread something. I mean, if people really see how absolutely absurd, and they make it up, they change the rules all along the way. And so all of the people that say it's all about the science, it's like, show me the science. There is none.